What happens when you talk about life?
Alrighty. Welcome to Weekly Inkblot, episode 14. Even though I have it as 13 right now, I'm going to fix it later. Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. We have Ash back, who hasn't been here for a couple of weeks now. We have Ellie and Nellie back here with us this week.
Yay!
Yes. So, Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. What is it?
I'm supposed to answer. Oh. It's an anxiety disorder that involves a lot of repetitive looping thoughts.
It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. It involves a lot of compulsive behavior, things that have to be done a certain way, or you are behaving in a certain manner repetitively.
Well,
a lot of other stuff, but
it sucks.
Yeah.
Go ha me.
Well, I will start by saying that I know. See, I personally don't have obsessive compulsive disorder. I have like certain tiny little things, but it doesn't interfere with my life. So this is one I don't know as much about. But I do know that when it comes to obsessive compulsive disorder, it's the fact that you're having both of them. The obsessions, which can be like let me see. The frequent upsetting thoughts are called obsessions. And to try to control them, a person will feel an overwhelming urge to repeat certain rituals or behaviors called compulsions. So, most of the time, people aren't able to control it. But you kind of have to have both in order to have OCD, if I remember correctly. No?
Obsessive compulsive disorder. I believe that I read years ago, so I could be wrong, is that like half of all people diagnosed with OCD don't have noticeable compulsion, like at least not visibly noticeable. Especially when let me put this down. Especially when the purely obsessional compulsion is basically to think about the thought repetitively and just like tear it apart and analyze it.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. You do have things that are just obsessional. Like, I used to be both obsessional and compulsive. I do not compulse anymore. I can't tell you why. I just all of a sudden don't do it anymore. But I am very obsessed. So I have lots of intrusive thoughts and images, and it just never, ever stops.
Right. On this website, it says some individuals may suffer from pure obsessional OCD, sometimes called pure O, in which they report experiencing obsessions without observable compulsions. These obsessions often manifest as intrusive, unwanted thoughts, impulses, or mental images of committing an act they consider to be harmful, violent, or immoral, sexually inappropriate, or sacrilegious. For individuals with pure obsessional OCD, these thoughts can be frightening and torturous precisely because they are so anti-ethical to their values and beliefs. So that's that. Learn something new every day.
Yes, you do.
The more you know.
What they always said, or what I was always taught was, what you're afraid of most, like the thing that is so not your personality, will be what you obsess about. So if you're a non-violent person, 95% of the time, your obsessional, intrusive thoughts are going to be violent. Of you doing a violent act, you feeling like you could do this violent act, you won't, you don't. but you're terrified you will. So then you will avoid things so that that particular issue will not come up.
Right, kind of a pathological fear of doing something completely out of character.
Right. And you know you won't, but then your mind will go, well, but you could, or you want to, and then you go, well no, I don't. Well, yeah, you do. It's like a battle inside of your mind, and it can get very loud, which sounds totally crazy, but it can get very loud to where you're going, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up.
Yeah, or just stop.
Exactly.
Like, I have to be early. I can't be on time or late to anything. Like, on time for me is still late. Like, if I say I'm going to be somewhere at 5, I will probably be there about 4:45, 4:30. I take, like, extra time in the morning, every morning, just to make sure that I'm at work really early, all the time. And I need to have specific structure and plans in my day. If I make plans, I have everything mapped out for the entire day, and when a wrench is thrown in that, it just completely screws me.
I always have to be on time.
Yeah. Like, if I'm like a minute or two late, like, I start beating myself up over it.
Yeah. The real pain about it though is that it can mess with your self-image.
Yes.
And it's like perfectionism to a dangerous extreme.
Mhm.
Or harmful at least. Not necessarily dangerous, but it sucks. And it harms your self-image, which harms your self-esteem, which harms your mood. And it controls a lot of your life.
Well, and that's very true. I really do agree with that. Because if something goes wrong, or you're constantly beating yourself up over it, you're, constantly freaking out about every little thing that's, offsets your day.
Yeah, and I always have to be perfect, like and if I'm not perfect, I just think that I just suck completely. Which, especially when like it mixes with other psychological disorders, like it just kind of feeds each other, and yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's never a good thing. Like, one of my biggest ones is somebody be like, oh, just show up between such and such time and such time, or we'll be there around, or between such and such time and such time, and it bugs me to know it. I'm like, no, I need to know what time.
Mhm. Oh my god, I'm the same way.
It's like, I'm not playing this game. Like, seriously, I need to know a time. Well, we'll be there whenever. No. I need a time.
Yeah, and if other people are like, actually, that's a good example of my OCD. If somebody is on their way, like this is like I don't like when people aren't on time, but this is just a whole different thing. Like around the time that they say they're gonna be here or wherever I am, like half an hour to an hour before that, I'll start like watching them like obsessively out the window or
Yeah.
watching for them.
No,
And
I'll keep like looking out the window every 2 seconds, and if they are texting me via Facebook, whatever, I keep checking Facebook over and over and over and over again.
and keep checking your phone. Like, did they text me? Did they call me?
Yeah.
Where are you? Where are you? Like, I know you're not supposed to be here for another 15 minutes, but where are you?
And it would drive me nuts because, like, my sister is the total opposite. She's like compulsively late to everything. So it used to drive me crazy.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh my god, can't you be on time like a normal person?
I think normal people aren't on time.
Probably, but for me, it's just like, oh, be a normal person. Be there at least, within the hour you say you're gonna be in there, because she'll be like an hour and a half late.
Right.
Or she'll forget. Which is even worse.
Yeah. And my unwanted intrusive images started pretty young. When I think I must have been 7 because we lived in the one house we only lived in for a year. My mom was still alive. I dropped a plate on my toe, and it really messed up my nail. And then shortly after that, my mom died, and I don't know if that set something off or if it was already there, because that could be an important factor, but I don't know. There's no way to know.
Mm-hmm.
I was constantly, for years, for probably 2 to 4 years, I don't know, like, I was constantly, like, checking on my toenails and fingernails because I was just, like, constantly afraid that one of them was going to get, like, ripped off. And I would picture it and think about it and think about it and think about it. And, like, it got to the point that it was causing, like, phantom toe pain, kind of. Well, my toes were there. But, I mean, like, they didn't really hurt, but in my head they hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be like, oh my god, my nail's gone, but they'd be fine. And if I stubbed my toe, oh my god. And then it stopped. And then when I was, like 11, I started having these images that wouldn't stop of, like, skin being sliced. And that still kind of messes with me. And then, like, I was not, Emmy might remember this, I was not at all squeamish.
Mm-mm.
Until I was, like, 15 or 16, and now I can't watch gore at all. Like, I would be on Rotten.com and looking at all the gore pictures for fun, and now when I saw the first Kill Bill during the scene when she was, like, in Japan or whatever, I had to leave the theater. Like, I had to walk out and, like, sit in the lobby because I'm that squeamish now, because, like, these thoughts get in my head, and I can't stop picturing it over and over, like, a more recent example, when the Boston incident happened, somebody put a graphic picture in like on Facebook, and it showed up in my newsfeed, and I couldn't stop picturing it in my head for like 3 days.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, like, I wasn't squeamish, but it's just after I see it, I can't get it out for days.
That's pretty common with the things getting stuck in your head, like images. For some people, I know this person that said that when they read posts, they read the bottom post first, because like the last couple of sentences, to see if it ends well, because if not, that bad feeling sticks with them for like 2 or 3 days. And I do that with books. If somebody reads a book, I will ask them, does somebody die in this book? Like my friend, and she'll be like, well, I don't want to tell you. And I'll say, well, you have to tell me, because if I read this book and it sticks with me, I'm going to be pissed at you. So does somebody die? And they'll say, well, yes or no. And then I can read it, because I'll know ahead of time. I can prepare. I have to prepare. I can't be unprepared. I don't like surprises. But it's like that. Or
because you're a reader and you get to attach to your characters.
Yeah. I mean, like, I tend to, like, obsessively pick at the skin around my nails. And, like, try to, like, constantly get all the dirt under my nails all the time. Like, it bothers me to
Yeah,
no
I've
end
heard
having
that kind of thing, and things like picking at the skin on your lips and everything, which is something that I do a lot, like, all the time, is an anxiety reaction. And I never even knew that. Like, it was just because of Inkblot. I was looking up stuff, and I read that, and I was like, really? And I was like, I don't even remember when I started doing that. I think it had to have been after I was like, I think I started picking my lips when I was in high school. I think is when it started, because I don't remember even worrying about it before then.
For 5 years, I would compulsively tear out my eyelashes, and I had no eyelashes for a while. I still have to wear them every day, because that was my eyelashes for a while.
Yeah.
And I also twitch my nose a lot, which drives me nuts, and I can't, like, stop. And, like, I'm doing it, like, consciously, kind of, but I just feel like I have to. And if I don't, like, I can't think about anything else. and like I have to twitch my ears and stuff too, which is it's just like the ears aren't so bad, but the nose thing is just so awkward to me sometimes. I'm just like, I can't stop twitching my nose and this person's looking at me.
See, for me, it's like if you touch my nose, I automatically wrinkle it. I don't even realize I do it, but apparently I do.
That's funny.
They'll just, they just like touch. If I touch my nose, it's fine. If somebody else touches my nose, like I start wrinkling it.
It sounds like, from what I've read from other people, from like Nellie's blogs and things like that, that it just, you're always worrying about like, doing what you're supposed to do for your OCD, and then you're also worrying about people seeing
the OCD.
what you're doing for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a compulsion, basically, what they say is that the difference between OCD and other illnesses is we are firmly aware that what we do makes no sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes no relevant sense. Why do you touch the doorknob 12 times? Well, because if I don't, my family will die in a car accident. Are they really going to die in a car accident? No, but the anxiety that they might if I don't touch it 12 times is very real. But you can't explain that to somebody, so you're going to keep touching it, and they're going to look at you like you're nuts.
Because, most people, they just look at you like you're crazy.
Yeah.
Last night I was at a friend's house, and I was sitting in a chair, and on the other side of the room, behind me, was his calendar on the wall. And I didn't see it. And he said, "Oh, my calendar still thinks it's March." And I sat there for maybe 3 minutes, just like not even able to talk. And I had to get up and go put the calendar on April, even though there's like 4 days left in April. And I turned around and looked at it for a second, and I'm like, I'm just going to let this go. And I just couldn't. I had to get up and change that calendar, even though I couldn't even see it from where I was sitting.
Yeah, because you know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And once you know it's there, it's all over.
It's there.
I'm obsessive compulsive about like some of my artwork and crap. Like, I'll go and fix something like 20 dozen times because it doesn't look right to me, but everybody else says it looks fine, and it doesn't, and I get frustrated and I want to rip it up and throw it away.
Yeah.
I know that feeling with art.
Yeah,
I do that with my writing. I delete it, and then I write it, and then I delete it, and then I write it, and then I delete it, and everybody's like, that sentence was fine, and I'm like, no, it wasn't. It sounds wrong. I'm not using it.
Yeah, but yeah, Emmy had to stop me a couple of times from throwing out pieces I was working on.
Mm.
Sometimes it's something like as little as a smudge. Like, well, you can't even see it. I'm like, but I know it's there.
Trying to tell her, like, it's fine, but...
Like I said, I know it's there, and I know it's wrong, and it eats at me if it doesn't get fixed. And if I can't fix it, it makes me even more upset.
Yeah.
Well, I have a question.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
How many people here are germaphobes?
I'm not.
I'm not really that much of a germaphobe.
You're not?
Shockingly. I obsessively clean under my nails. Like I said, I obsessively clean out from underneath my nails because I'm used to working in kitchens, and at this point, it's become such a thing that like any dirt under my nails bothers me, at all. That's the biggest germaphobe thing I can think of.
My uncle is my stepdad's brother. He's an extreme germaphobe, and it didn't happen until he never had any, or as far as we know, he didn't have any of like the compulsions or anything beforehand. He almost died in the hospital, and that was when he kind of became born again, and it's also when he became obsessed about washing his hands, about cleaning things. And I know one of my cousins, and I didn't even know this until my wedding, when somebody had noticed that he has to have everything completely perfectly clean. Like, he asked for rubbing alcohol and everything to scrub down the sink and the toilet and everything, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And what sink? Like in his hotel?
Huh? No, at Mom's house.
Him?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I was surprised too. But,
Huh. Wow. Learn something new every day.
mhm.
Yeah, no, I spent enough of my life being kind of a tomboy to just, I can't be a germaphobe.
Yeah, I mean, my sister and I grew up with the 5-second rule and a house full of cats and dogs over at my Aunt Kay's. You learn not to be too choosy on the germaphobe thing.
Right.
It's like, hey, look, quick, get the donut before the dog does.
I think you have to have, well, maybe not. I mean, I could see it going two ways. Either you grow up in an environment where it's possible to be a germaphobe, such as if your parents are germaphobes or whatever,
Right.
or if you grow up in an absolutely filthy environment and end up becoming one later,
Ever want to do it again. Yeah.
or just not liking that stuff. I don't.
I did not grow up in a dirty home. It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was like hospital clean. I mean, it was just normal. But it started with more like washing my hands all the time. Like at 4, I'm washing my hands till they're bloody and like
Oh,
constantly doing
Wow.
weird shit. And they couldn't figure out why. They were like, what is wrong with this kid? Like what is wrong with this kid? And then now I don't wash my hands up to where they're bloody, obviously, because that's a little far out there. But I cannot stand for certain people to touch me. I cannot touch certain things. And if someone touches my face, I will go bat, you know what, crazy. Like, you can't don't touch my face. Seriously, I will flip out. I actually thought that my husband was going to touch my face one time, and I like flinched and was like, don't touch my face! And it seems a little crazy because, I mean, like, seriously, I can touch my face all the time, but I cannot let other people touch my face. Like, I can't do it. I will lose it.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you know where your hands have been.
yeah. Well, I've got a thing with feet. I hate feet.
Oh, Ellie hates feet so badly.
Like,
So, like, you have a
like
thing
my
with
mom,
feet. This could go one of two ways.
sit there and tell me, she's like, you have feet. I'm like, yes, but I know where my feet have been. I'm just like, which means that based on where my feet have been alone, I can only guess at where your feet have been, and you wash your hands more than you do your feet. So, don't touch me with your feet.
My feet have been in a pair of socks and shoes almost immediately after getting out of the shower.
Right, and then they sit in their own sweat all day.
I don't sweat. Ever.
Well,
No, I don't really sweat too much. I did walk around in mud a lot today, though.
yeah, feet, for some reason, I just have the world's biggest issue with.
Well, I have very cute feet, so you probably wouldn't be scared of mine.
No,
And I
chances
think
are,
it's
if you touch me
important.
with your feet, I'll probably freak.
I have a cute tattoo on my foot.
I will look
I
at
think
you
we
more
have to
hard.
mention that not all people that have OCD are really clean or like things a certain
Yes.
way. There are hoarders. Which,
Yeah.
My dad was a hoarder. By the way,
and that is also OCD. It
Mhm.
is.
Yes. I was trying to look at like the different types, because I guess there's a couple of different types. There's the Puro, which is she was talking about. There's um, the one that we kind of expect is the normal one, or I don't think we would
oh, okay.
really use
Normal as
that.
it's going to be. As normal as it's going to be, anyway.
Well, right. But what you kind of expect, but it happens in a lot of different things, and then they have on here hoarding, and there's also prenatal and postnatal OCD, which I did not know.
Well, I mean, I've heard of,
I
like,
had that.
prenatal and postnatal diabetes. And, you know, postnatal and prenatal depression.
Depression,
And
yes.
like that. So, I mean, I can't rule that out as...
I've had it with my first child. I did not, thankfully, have it with my second, and it was probably the most horrible, awful hell I have ever been through. It was, I thought I had completely lost my mind. I was terrified of being alone with my kid. I mean, I absolutely thought I had gone nuts. And I was familiar with OCD, but I did not know that there was postpartum OCD, which is just, I don't even have a word for
I'm
how
not having it.
horrible that experience was.
It
It
sounds
was
like
it was terrible.
Dogs can get OCD.
Yeah, Yes, I've actually seen that.
very easily, actually.
Yeah, and also one of the main causes, if I'm not mistaken, but one of the bigger causes of OCD is just hereditary.
Yeah, I was looking at I mean they have this long list of causes, biological, um, they have the problems with serotonin, brain cells and the chemicals being wrong, like, or not going like to where it's supposed to.
Yeah. I
Hmm.
mean, I'm
Well,
also a
Then
compulsive eater.
they also have stress and depression as causes as well.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, I read in a book once that the part of the brain that OCD occurs in is the same part as seizures and religious preoccupation,
Hmm.
which makes sense.
That
Actually,
suddenly explains my uncle.
yeah. Well, also because OCD is sometimes treated with seizure medication,
Yeah.
with seizure dressing.
It didn't work
No,
for me.
with seizure medication.
Yeah.
Because it's a loop, just kind of like seizures. It's just like the record skipping. And honestly, like from the brain of OCD, because I'm the only brain with OCD in the world, from the brain of a person with OCD, it does feel often like the record skipping because it's like thinking about this thing. I want to stop thinking about it. Oh, just start it all over again. Okay, guess I'll just think about this, and then you just need to get distracted. Like, I don't know, distracted. Yep.
I mean, mine, like, I've got like an obsessive eating or a compulsive eating problem. Mostly because, like, I mean, when my sister and I were really little, there was a period we were really malnourished, and I'm always afraid that I'm gonna go back to starving again.
Mm.
And as an adult, I haven't exactly been like, miss be able to afford food. So whenever I have food, I tend to eat it. And then I'm also a grief eater on top of that.
A Greek eater?
Grief.
Ah.
I'm a grief eater.
I was like, I love feta.
Yes, I eat. No, no, no. You misunderstand. I eat the Greeks.
Oh. That's awkward. Is that why you're into the Greek mythology?
I guess so.
It all makes sense. Anyway, OCD. Um, sometimes I was taking a test earlier before the session started, and it's just like this test, like, oh, see if you have pure obsessional OCD, which I already know, so I just took the test anyway maybe because I have OCD, I don't know. And I saw, like, one of the things I checked off, I sometimes wash or shower in order to get rid of bad thoughts. And I didn't realize that that's why I do that. Like, I knew that, like, sometimes when I get overwhelmed and, like, I keep thinking, like, unclean things or whatever, or something that's just bothering me that I don't want to think about, I'll go take a shower and feel, better when I get out because it's, like, a cleansing. And it kind of makes me think of, like, OCD, especially with the whole cleaning compulsion thing. Stuff like washing your hands till they bleed and showering because you have crappy thoughts or, things like that. Or my favorite is causing everything to be like when my friends are playing Risk and I see the characters knocked over, I'll just stand all of them up. Or when people get a new game, I just put all the pieces that are the same color together it doesn't do anything. It has absolutely nothing to do with the game. I just have to do it. But it's like putting things in order and cleaning things. It's almost like a metaphor because the thing that bothers us is these thoughts that we feel are unclean or unethical or sacrilegious or inappropriate or whatever. And it's like the rituals we do are cleansing rituals or ordering rituals. It's just really interesting. Because, I mean, like, that's not really a conscious thing either with OCD.
No.
No.
But that is interesting as all get out.
We have something unordered in our brains, so we're being ordered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I gotta order something else.
Something just be good. I don't know.
You know, shit, I fold trash. I don't even realize I do it, but I do it anyway.
You what?
You
I don't fold my clothes, but I fold trash.
Huh.
That's different. I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, you ask anybody I know, anybody who's ever seen me eat like at like a fast food restaurant or whatever. As soon as I'm done with something, I don't crumple it up into a ball. I sit there and fold it.
I do that too.
Yeah, I fold it really, really neatly and then throw it out. And then everybody like laughs or whatever. Like that's so weird.
No,
Why do
I'm
you do it?
sitting
It's
here.
like, I don't know why I do. I just do it. I'm just like I don't know. Maybe it takes up less space. I don't know.
You
It's
said
like, well,
that.
but I'm like, no, I can't just crumple it.
No, it's
That's
like,
not how it works.
ugh. No, you said that, and I was sitting there thinking, oh, I do that with my Taco Bell wrappers, and then you say fast food, and I'm just like, shit.
Yeah, wrappers in general, trash. Like I said, I don't fold my clothes out. I will fold the crap out of trash. Don't know why.
I don't fold my clothes either. I have to. Well, when I put my shirts, I hang all my shirts. I'm looking over the closet for emphasis, I guess. When I put away my shirts, I hang them, and I have to have the hanger like that part like facing right on the shirt. And if it like sometimes I accidentally don't do that, and I lose my shit entirely. Stuff.
Yeah,
I don't like that.
I don't blame you. My issue is the hangers. They all have to be put on the right way. Because
But-
there have been a couple of times like people have hooked them on over the back, and it just it gets me so it just wound up and just.
Who does that?
I don't know, but I swear to God, like my sister used to do it all the time just to fuck with me. Because then I'd start like screaming and trying to like rip the clothes off of entirely just so that I could like put it all back on the way it was supposed to be.
It's like the toilet paper thing. Anybody else have the toilet paper thing?
See, I don't have a toilet paper issue.
Oh my god. Oh my god. If I go to somebody's house and the toilet paper is on the wrong way, I will just take it off and fix it. Like I don't care if it's their house and that's how they like the toilet paper. I can't use it until it's like the right way. Yeah.
So I guess I'm trying to look at like what they view as different treatments for OCD, which some of these I recognize, some of them I don't. Yes, they brought up CBT,
Well, I mean,
which
any
I
good.
think CBT is kind of used for most of them. Which
Right,
is
universally.
cognitive
Well,
behavioral therapy. And then
Right
medication.
away. Yeah,
of
I feel
course.
like any good form of therapy should be like encompassing more than one thing.
Mhm.
Otherwise, it's probably not that good, you know.
So I see here, like, they have the SSRIs, which is selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors are used. So like Prozac, Cipramil, Paxil, Zoloft, a couple that I don't recognize. And they also have a tricyclic antidepressant, which I've never heard of before.
Tricyclic.
Tricyclic,
I think.
however you pronounce it.
Well, that's how I recognize it, and you confuse me, and I'm OCD, so I
Sorry.
can't do it any other way. I'm kidding.
Which is called anafranil, I guess is the trade name for it, which again I've never heard of that before, but it seems like despite this website swearing that it's a fair, like, what this website says is that it's a chronic thing, but that it's easily treatable, which I feel like I want to
Oxymoron.
say yes to the chronic,
I wouldn't say it's easy.
but no to the easily treatable.
Not easily. It's treatable, but it's more manageable than anything, just like any other psych thing.
Yeah, I mean, and because everybody's so different, like, again, I can't in good conscience say that it's going to be easy
Right.
because everybody's a little bit different, but, I mean, you can deal with it. It's just a matter of trying to find what works for you to how to deal with it.
Right. And it's all about what works for you.
I think it depends on severity too. You have people that have very low levels, and you have people that are mild to moderate, and then sometimes you have severe people who cannot leave their house or cannot get in the car, or how do they get treated effectively if they can't go to the place they need to be treated with? So
Right.
Yeah. Rough.
So you have like it being very mixed, and then there's a lot of people it seems that go to try to get help, but they still have like they get better about some of the compulsions, but not with the intrusive thoughts. And
I mean, a good example, has anybody here seen the movie What About Bob?
mm-mm.
It's a Bill Murray movie, and at the beginning, they, they show, like, the main guy is a fairly extreme case. He's got a lot of different problems going on, but he's got a lot of obsessions or obsessive compulsive problems that he's trying to seek help for. And, like, it's really a battle for him just to get out of his apartment, and then from his apartment to his new doctor's office, and then from his new doctor's office up to the actual office and back. And the guy was the doctor was promoting baby steps, just take it one bit at a time. And in a lot of cases, especially with people who are afraid of germs and things like that, and going out in public because it's infested with germs and they can't clean everything. That's a fairly accurate description of somebody who just it's really overwhelming for them.
I think also, well, okay, two weird things that are not connected, but just because you're afraid of germs too does not mean that you have to like clean it.
Right.
Like, I have this weird thing where I won't touch your hand if you shake your hand, but I have no problem touching a dirty like shopping basket, and just
Right.
doesn't even occur to me. But don't shake my hand. I mean, that makes no sense, and I'm aware of that. It makes no sense. But also, I love that they do movies for OCD. I mean, I do. But why are they always crotchety old men? Why? Like, women don't have it? Why don't you deal with that? And they're all always, like, really old, and they're, like, socially awkward and not sexy at all. And
Yeah,
Monk is super lovable.
that was, I think, probably one of the problems I had with What About Bob, is they kind of blew it way out of proportion.
Well, that's what movies are for, because they have to have the, like,
Right.
bottom line concentrated.
But I mean, overall, it was a fairly accurate description of how somebody has to cope with OCD. Is baby steps, really.
it is.
Bit by bit, you can't accomplish everything at once.
No. But why can't they have Jennifer Aniston do that? That's all I'm asking. Like,
You know, somebody
throw
more
a nice
attractive.
looking chick in there and make her deal with it too. Like, it's always. I mean, if you look at the What About Bob, and then you have what was that one with Jack Nicholson? I cannot think
One
of
Flew
it.
Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
No. Oh no. Don't talk about it. It creeps me out. No. The one where he has. Oh my God, he has OCD in it. It has Greg Kinnear in it. Anyway, you've got him doing it, and then you had Monk, and then you have
Yeah.
He's so cute, though.
Oh, but you do have Monica from Friends who's OCD.
Okay, yes, finally, one out of
Yeah,
the
Courtney Cox. Yeah.
The opposite of Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, right. They could have just scooted over once, and I would have been perfectly happy with that. But it's just, I don't know. I tend to think that people don't know about OCD start to get these odd ideas that we are all socially awkward. I'm very outgoing. You guys seem very outgoing.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm a fairly outgoing person by nature.
I won't shake your hand. That doesn't mean we can't be buddies.
Right.
I don't get why it always has to. I know they need funny, but really, so much of it is so not funny, and it's
Yeah.
so painful. And I really wish that they could be a little bit more honest with how painful it is to live with this day after day.
Yeah. It's not easy.
Somebody will one day.
I mean, mine's mild and it's not easy.
Right, yeah.
I mean, if I had to, I don't know what I would do if it was more severe than it is. And, I have a lot of respect for people who do have the severe OCDs that try to get through their lives every day, because it's not easy even with mild.
It's not. I mean, I don't have the compulsions, and mine's fairly mild, but it's still like, it still puts a damper on my day
Yeah,
every
it
day.
can really screw your day every day.
And it's hard. You don't want to tell. I think the big thing is, especially people with intrusive thoughts, we don't go and say, I had this really bad image in my head. I just can't get rid of this bad image in my head. You don't tell people that. So I always feel like, of all the friends I have, very few know what OCD is. They think I just clean, or that I'm a kick-ass organizer or something. They really don't know the depth of the shit that goes on in my head. I'm not going to explain it to them. They wouldn't understand it. And I really feel uncomfortable talking to them about it. So I always feel like I have friends, but they're not really true friends because they don't really know me. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Yeah, and there's a high likelihood that they'll tell you, oh, just think about something else. And it's like, I'm gonna think about hurting you, and I'm gonna be upset. And then I'm gonna have to wash my hands, and thanks. You're a dick.
Like one of my biggest problems, there's a great deal of my friends that have absolutely no idea, how upset and just, how much it wrecks my night when they tell me, they're going to show up and they don't.
Yeah.
They don't give me any answers, they don't give me a reason other than I forgot, and it's, it ruins my night for the entire night. I'm in tears, I'm constantly looking outside wondering if maybe they're just going to be late, maybe they're still coming, maybe, and and it's not like it makes any damn difference, because, if I have other guests, then who the hell cares? But it still matters to me.
Right.
It just bugs me so much. And there's, a lot of, tiny little things that just, upset me to no end.
And then you have the people that purposely, like my brother, he's notorious. I love my brother to death, but I swear to God, he knows my thing is don't touch my face, and he will purposely touch my face. I won't even see it coming. I'll be crossing the corner and it'll be like, "Pah," and I'll be like, "Oh my God, why did you do that?" And he thinks it's hilarious, and I'm sure to other people it's hilarious.
They think it's funny, and they don't realize how much damage they're doing, and it's so frustrating because they just don't understand what you're going through. And if you try to tell them, if you finally snap at them, then they're like, dude, you're being a bitch, or something like that.
Yeah, and that's the problem, because you don't want to come across as being a total bitch. But it's just, you can't help it. Yeah, you just can't. And I don't, for me personally, I don't want people's pity. I don't want, people to feel sorry for me. I want people to understand and try to avoid, if all possible, setting those off. And not doing it purposely. If it's on accident, hey, I understand. Accidents happen. But if you're purposely going out of your way to be a dick, no. I don't want pity. I just want people to listen and pay attention.
The problem is that, with most mental health, and actually physical health too, because I see this a lot with my fibro and other health conditions, that if they don't have it, they will never understand. There isn't a chance for them to understand unless they have something, unless they have the same thing or they have something extremely similar.
Yeah.
So the best we can hope for is that they are at least thoughtful enough to pay attention and do what we ask.
Yeah. It's we We would like to
Fair
be treated
enough.
like other people. We just don't want to be judged for having our issues. And I'm sorry, having pity on us, that's still judging us.
Yeah. I don't like that. I don't like the look like, oh,
Like, oh, you poor thing.
Uh-huh.
No,
I
just
am
stop.
fine.
Yeah.
I just want you to treat me like everybody else and understand if there's something I can't do that I just can't do it. Don't ask me to keep doing it because I'm not going to do
Yeah,
it.
don't push it.
Then I'm gonna hate you
Yeah.
all day.
Then I'm going to hate you and it's just going to make things worse.
Right. Then I'm going to feel guilty about it because OCD is doubt, but more than anything, it is just a big ball of flaming guilt that you can never get rid of. You're guilty for every single thing. You're always guilty. Just guilt, 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 guilt. I hate guilt.
Oh, yeah. You beat yourself up over it. You feel guilty. You say you're sorry to whatever. I mean, you could be saying sorry to the wall just because you're upset at somebody else, but you have to say you're sorry to something like 5,000 times.
Yep.
Because
Yeah, that's
once
like
does
being
not seem
cancer.
enough. And it's just, it's a pain in the ass.
It is.
Yeah. Too bad there's no confession for us.
That would be great. I'm very lucky. I have my mom who, God love her, doesn't have OCD, but has, been to every therapy meeting with me growing up. And I have what I call the reassurance person. So if I have a thought, because our thoughts are not always accurate,
Yeah.
I will call her and say, this horrible image came in my mind. I feel like such a bad person. I'm just a horrible, horrible, terrible person. And she'll say, no, you're not. No, you're not. It's your OCD. It's your OCD. And I know it's my OCD, but I need somebody to tell me that sometimes. So I can go,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not a bad person. And it's really important, I think, to find people that can do that for you. Because otherwise, you're just going to keep rolling it in the guilt and thinking that you're bad. And you're not. It's not your fault.
Yeah.
My ex-boyfriend's actually really good for that.
Which one?
Blair?
Ah, okay. The one I haven't met.
Yeah, he knows all about how nuts I am, and I just call him and I'm like, I'm having these thoughts, and he's like, you're having thoughts, tell me. And I'm like, and he's like, it's cool. And that's pretty much all he says. But,
I know that one issue I have, and I never thought of it as OCD, so I haven't really, I'm starting to realize that some things that I do could be classified in there, and I just have never realized it. But one of the things I do is, especially with online friends, but like with almost all friends, I can't bring myself to message people because I'm going to disturb them. But then I start thinking that, especially with certain friends, it's like, I want to talk to them, I want to chat because I like them and they're my friend, but, they probably hate me anyway.
right.
So I shouldn't message them, and I shouldn't bother them, and I shouldn't,
Never talk
take
to
up
them
their...
again.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I should just completely cut myself off, and it's like, it's this cycle and I can't get myself out, and it's like I don't tell people what's going through my head because I don't want them to have to deal with it.
Well, and I'm proud of you because, lately you've been getting, better at messaging me first.
Mhm.
Which, hey, awesome job. I'm actually very proud of you for that. And knowing what I know now, that's awesome progress for you. You'll actually, message me and be like, hey, I have a question.
Yeah, I almost
Okay.
never do it too. It's it's a thing for me. I don't know. It bothers because I feel like I'm gonna bother them, and I don't call people for the exact same reason. It's like I'm gonna disturb them at whatever they're doing, and then they're gonna be mad at me for calling.
And what's funny is, if you really think about it, though, who really gets mad at you for calling or messaging? Like, really, really mad.
I know.
Want to again.
I know. No one would. If
I would say no one.
if I were my friend and I was telling myself this, I'd be like, bitch, message me, call me, it's fine. And,
Yeah.
But I can't bring myself out of it, and I get down there and I just I'm like, I know that this is completely irrational and makes absolutely no sense, and I'm being stupid by doing this, but it's just there.
I have a friend named Chris who is such a wise man, and he's actually another person who he's got anxiety and depression pretty bad, and he like I talk to him all the time about my stuff because like he understands. But he said one thing to me when I was down in Texas that has really helped me. It's I have it written on my wall. Never feel bad for asking for something that you would not hesitate to give.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I've been like trying to remember that. But when I remember it, it helps.
Right. And you know, like I think the closest thing that Emmy's ever come to like bothering me by calling me, it was after she'd broken up with somebody and she called me when I was at school and I didn't have my phone on vibrate and it went off in class.
Whoops.
It's funny.
Fortunately, they gave me back the phone after school. I was just like, oopsies.
Well,
I wasn't bad. I was just like, oh crap.
I think about it rationally, and it's like, yeah, there are ways to bug people by calling them, but like, you know, because my mom does it every once in a while. Ash and I will be having an intimate moment, and the phone will go off, and I'll be like, oh, you bitch. But I ignore the phone call, continue whatever I'm doing, and then can call her back later, and I'm not mad about it or anything, but
Right.
I don't know. I just don't like bothering people. Like I feel like I'm a bother to people, so I don't want to bother people.
I am the
And
same
I
way.
do know that feeling. And my mom yells at me for it all the time because she's like, no, you can't do that because that mentality is how your great grandmother died. 'Cause she didn't want to be a bother. I'm like, yeah. Doesn't stop me, but you know.
Well, I think that's self-esteem right there. Is that I know I do it. I call it self-hating. But it's not.
Yeah.
I really don't self. I mean, I don't hate myself, but my mind, like my OCD, really hates me
Right.
and likes to tell me all the time. And so you start to develop this, well, I can't tell this person because that might upset them, or I can't act this way, this might affect them this way. I can't call them, I can't do that. And really what you end up doing is hurting yourself.
Yeah.
Because these people don't really feel this way about you. That's what you're projecting they feel about you.
Projecting. It's an important thing. We should do a whole thing on projecting. God.
Yeah.
Anyway, I actually have to get out of here.
Okay.
So, because it's been an hour, and I have
Yeah,
to,
we're probably gonna wrap up anyway. So.
and I can't deal with it if it goes over an hour. No, it's
Oh God, I know, you poor thing.
well, I have OCD. But let me know what we're doing next week and stuff.
And stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it.
Right, bye, y'all.
Bye.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too.
Bye.
So, um, I really don't know what we're doing next week, which I hope isn't bothering anyone's OCD.
No. If it's this far in advance, we're good.
Yeah.
Like springing it on me the day of might be a bit of an issue.
I should figure it out before then.
Yeah, as long as I know ahead of time, we're good.
Yeah, and because we have David's birthday movie to watch or whatever he wants to watch. So, but next week, let me actually look at my calendar, and I never do this, but I am this time. Let's see, we'll be in May. Next week, we will actually probably be doing this on Saturday. Because Ellie has her jewelry party.
Ah, that's right. Yes.
So, and that's at 6:30. So we'll probably be on here on Saturday instead. So, but thank you guys for being part of this, and thanks for talking about some of the stuff that I'm sure, you know, people would be like, ooh, about hearing. So, but you know, the point is awareness.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah,
only
just it's unfortunately life for a lot of people.
Hmm.
And it's important that people understand that at some point.
And that it's not, we're not completely off our rocker, and we're not, like, completely and totally insane. We know what these thoughts are. We know that they're irrational. And just because we have a condition or disorder or whatnot doesn't mean that we automatically, give up our rights to be human,
Right.
Yeah.
which a lot of people seem to think.
Unless you can be Superman, then I say go for Superman.
Well, yeah. If you ever, well, see, I would have said Batman. If you have the opportunity to be Batman, be Batman.
But
I'd be
Superman
Iron Man.
flies. I want to fly.
I'd be Iron Man.
I can cope with Iron Man. Iron Man's awesome.
I mean, Hulk.
He can fly and he's got money. See, but think about the bills you'd have to pay on the shorts alone.
Oh yeah. No.
That's a lot of money. She'd almost have to be rich. She'd almost have to be Iron Man just to, keep up with the clothing bill.
That's right. Yeah, I can't deal with all that. Germs on the suit. I can't. We can't.
Right.
Can't clean
Like,
that
no.
properly.
Just imagine a superhero with some of these. I think someone should do it, man. They should write a comic specifically with a superhero that has some of these disorders.
OCD man and bipolar woman and
Yeah.
Well, technically, Batman has a lot of mental disorders.
He is messed.
Yeah, he is. He's a messed up superhero.
He is flipped.
He's got some very serious mental conditions.
Well, have you seen where they live? Like, I mean, really,
Superman's got
that is the
split personality.
creepiest city I have ever seen in my entire life.
Gotham.
No wonder they're all messed up. Holy God.
Right?
It's creepy.
Superman's got split personality. He's Clark Kent and he's Superman.
That's true.
That's
Iron
true.
Man has an ego problem.
They may all be like that and we have just never noticed.
Yeah, Peter Parker was bullied horrendously.
Yeah.
Ant-Man had little man syndrome. And coincidentally beat the crap out of his wife in a comic book.
Oh, no. Oh,
Really?
Yep.
Who, Iron Man?
no.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Oh, Ant-Man, yeah.
See?
He reads comic books.
Everybody.
No, we've got, Wonder Woman, who, for at least the earlier versions of Wonder Woman, was an extremely against men as a whole.
She was an Amazon or something.
An Amazon.
Yeah. I don't know why that means you don't like men. I mean, what it used to mean was you were from the Amazon and you were kind
You're
of...
right.
But all of a sudden it's, ooh, we don't like men, we're Amazon. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I never did understand that one. I mean, a
Aquaman.
lot of them have some very serious mental disorders. It's just a matter of looking at them and paying attention to, the bizarre little tics.
I don't like Aquaman.
He doesn't like Aquaman.
Why not?
I guess because he doesn't really do anything cool. He floats underwater and, like,
He's underwater.
breathes in
He's
fish
off the
poop.
pit. Come on. All the battles take place on land. How's he going to contribute?
By dropping a whale on them, I don't know.
He's very passionate about that. We cannot stop talking about Aquaman. This will last for hours.
Aquaman sucks.
But yeah, I'll figure out what we're gonna do next week, and I'll announce it. Something good. I don't know. Hopefully something that, I mean, we're gonna have to keep in the trend of where at least one or two of us knows about what it is.
That
That
would
would
be
be helpful.
Before we start getting other people, because I don't want to go into like things like schizophrenia or anything like that without someone in the chat that suffers from
about
it, because I would the whole point of this is not, we're not doctors, we're not giving you all of the medical spiel of it. We're trying to give you
Relatable spiel about it.
the definitions and the perspective of somebody who suffers from it.
Right.
So, but yes, we will see you next week. Bye.